Hey guys, this is Gale Force Online, here to bring you another one of my trash builds. Now this is my NightBlade Stamina PvP Glass Cannon. Alright, puts out a lot of damage but can't really take a lot of damage in return. So the idea behind it is to basically be sneaking around, finding a target, execute a massive amount of damage, and back to sneak and hiding again. Alright, easy enough, let's run to inventory. So use the Essence of Speed potion, which increases movement speed, grasping major brutality, and also gives me some stamina back at the same time. Now the reason I use this one is I don't have a reliable source of major brutality without having to equip a skill that will give my position away. So popping the potion stealth will still work. There's other reason I use this potion as well. We'll get into that in a sec. So first set that I use is the New Moon Accolade. So what it does, it increases my weapon and spell damage by 464, but also increases the ability costs. Alright, take a quick look at my stats. So 33 max stamina, but very low health pool to pull from, and very low resistance. Now, unbuffed, give it a second there. The vampire skills active. So unbuffed, I said about 4,600 weapon damage, which is really good, but we push out up to about 7,000 consistently. Alright, so back to rest of the inventory. The second, I use Molekina Mask, 2 sets. So if I use 2 consecutive light attacks, it increases my weapon damage by 560. But again, increases my ability cost by 8%. So since the battle is short duration and pumping out max damage for a short time, resources don't tend to be an issue. If you continue battle for a longer amount of time, like DPS on a boss or something, then your resources would definitely become an issue, so I wouldn't recommend this build for that. The third set that I'm using is Clever Alchemist. So when I drink a potion, it increases my weapon and spell damage by 675 for 20 seconds. Nice little buff since the last patch. So when I pop a potion, I grant major brutality and this additional 675, which is really nice. Now, just a quick overrun of the skills. On the front bar, I use Silver Shards, which is the Fighters Guild first skill. Does a nice bit of damage, but also equipping this skill increases my weapon and spell damage, just weapon damage by 3%. The Lethal Arrow, this is my first attack I usually lead with, because it's got a cast time. Does a nice bit of damage, but usually procs a critical at the same time, so it does about 20k damage unbuffed. The third skill I use is Camouflage Hunter. Mostly I just use this skill as a buff, but it is nice to have if somebody's sneaking around the area, or somebody might be sneaking around the area, just to activate to see if they're around. But as a buff, it increases my critical rating, and if I deal critical damage from a flank, it increases my damage done by 8%. Then Shadowy Disguise is from the Shadow skill in class builds, and this makes me invisible for 3 seconds, and it's really nice to use because, let's see if I get the right one. Sorry, just find the right buff for you guys. Here we go. Increase the weapon damage by 10% while I'm sneaking or invisible. So while I'm in sneak and I launch my first attack, it increases my weapon damage by 10%. But since the buffs to the vampire skill line, once I exit sneak or invisibility, it increases my weapon and spell damage by 300 as well. So my standard 4-6k weapon damage using visibility, you see it goes up to 506, 504 once I've reached left sneak. So nice 300 point booster on both sides. Now the rest of these skills. So Resolving Vigor is the heal that I use. Basically just if I get into trouble, get a bit of healing done, see if I survive the situation. And my ultimate I use Dawnbreaker of Smiting. Nice physical damage and some damage over time as well, but I predominantly use it for the stun. So if the enemy comes way too close, I can pop off a Dawnbreaker, stun them and hopefully execute before they can recover. Now for the back bar, use charging maneuvers, increases my movement speed by 30%. And the reason I use that is being a vampire and I'm sneaking, my movement speed is actually the same sneaking or if I'm running normally. Activating this skill increases that by another 30%, so I can maneuver around, move very fast, but still staying in stealth. Second skill is Endless Hail from the bow skill line. It's just an AoE range skill. I don't really use it a lot, mostly in Cyrodiil if I have to defend castles. It just pumps out a bit of AoE damage at long range. Same with the Razor Caltrops, AoE damage at range, and this also reduces the physical resistance by 5 to 80. Then this one's a bit of a flex spot. I use Relentless Focus. So activating the skill, if I do 5 long light attacks over a minute, it activates the second part of the skill which does 20k damage. It's a really nice finishing move. But if I activate this skill, I don't have to stay on the back bar. So even if I'm on the front bar, it still activates these abilities. Then just a Resolving Vigor again for my heal. And then Ballista. Usually I pop this off if I have to run away from the situation and still need to execute an enemy. So I'll leave the Ballista behind and see if I can hide away while the Ballista takes out the enemy player. Alright, so it looks something like this. Start with that one up, find my target, pop that one off first. Once I do that, activate my potion. So 7,000 right there. 2 light attacks, 8,000 again. So there's constant sources for increasing my weapon damage for short durations. So if I cycle through them, I definitely increase it to that 7,000 average. Potion, get our potion back up again. About 8,000. Alright, thanks for listening guys. If you have any ideas for builds you need to do in the future, let me know in the comments below. If you like the content that I'm putting out, please like and subscribe, and thanks for your time.